Yarny friends, I'm Sara Sach. Welcome back to my crochet channel. Now today's video I'm going to show you how to crochet our new and improved, retested and updated Spunky Chunky Baskets. Now there are two sizes. This one is the medium size, which is 10 inches tall and 10 inches across the bottom. We also make a smaller size, which is only 8 inches tall and only 8 inches across the bottom. All right, so they're really nice size baskets that you can put lots of goodies inside. All right, and so yes, they're made out of the new Premier Fable Yarn. It is a bulky 6, but we'll talk more about yarn later, because if you don't have this particular yarn, you can still use any bulky number 6 yarn or several strands of yarn together. But we'll talk more about that a little later on in the video. So what this is these are two baskets, a small and a medium. There is a large, but I'm going to do that one at a later date. Okay, because I'm not sure I'm going to use the Fable for it. But I designed these patterns, I think 2018, first of the year, January, February of 2018. And that particular yarn that I used, you can't find anymore in those colors. And so I thought I need to update and, update a new video and the pattern and everything. And it's been sort of sitting there waiting for me to do that. And then when Premier Yarn came out with this new Premier Fable Yarn, and I saw these gorgeous colors, I thought I have got to update the Spunky Chunky Baskets with this yarn. Okay, and I think you're really going to love working with that yarn. If you want to go and look at all the colors of it, I have my Premier Yarn link underneath this video, and you can just click that link and go in and look. Just put, if you don't find it, go to the Chunky Pad or the Chunky Yarns, or just put Fable Yarn in the search bar there on their website. This yarn is so soft and sturdy at the same time. It is perfect for this basket. Remember, small and a medium, and always I'll put that pattern link with pictures down in the notes underneath this video. Here are some of the Fable yarns. This basket here with this bright green and bright colors is this one. And this one is called Dragon. Now this one has kind of the primary colors. It's called Gnome. All right, the one we're going to use today, because the colors are a little bit softer, they're just different shades of pink and blue. It's just gorgeous. This one's called Mermaid, and I think it fits it perfectly. And on them you can see they have a picture of what they're going to look like all stitched up. And I love that. This is just 3 of them. I believe there are 10 different colors altogether. And again, you can find that Premier website link underneath this video. Now, you're going to need approximately 7 ounces, which one of these has 7 ounces, to make the medium-sized basket. And then you'll need about 5 ounces to make the small one. Okay? Now, I chose to use this. This is, of course, like I said, a bulky or super bulky number 6 yarn. You can use any super bulky number 6 yarn. If you don't have a super bulky number 6 yarn, you can hold like 4 strands of a medium weight together, or you can hold maybe 2 strands of a bulky 5, and it will work just fine. Now your measurements may be a little bit different because tension, and when you're holding more strands, depending on how thick those strands are, will make a difference. If you want to try this and you don't have this Fable yarn, just get in your yarn stash and find one of your bulky number 6s that you want to give it a try. I think this would look really nice in some of the blanket yarns that are fuzzy. That would look nice too, some of the velvet yarns. It's a really simple pattern, so it's not going to be intricate stitches where you won't be able to see it and all the fuzz and things. So there's lots of different options that you can use. I just happen to think this yarn is absolutely perfect for my Spunky Chunky Baskets. All right, so 7 ounces for the medium, 5 ounces for the small baskets. All right, I'm going to move these. We're stitching today with our 9mm crochet hook. That is the N 9mm crochet hook. Okay, you need a nice big needle with a nice big eye in it. Weaving in super bulky yarns is a little bit different than some of our regular ones because it is a little bit difficult to get through those fibers, but I'll show you how to do that when I weave it in for our basket. All right, and then you're going to need a pair of scissors. Now, I did not add any buttons, bows, ribbons, appliques, or any of that stuff, but you can, because remember, you do what works best for you. You can make it super fancy. I just want the colors of this yarn to be the star of this basket. That's why I didn't add any extra bows or embellishments. Now for our demonstration, I am going to be making the small basket, and then I will give you the information to make the next size up. It's not much different. It's an extra row on the bottom of the circle. You have, I think, 1 or 2 more rows in length, but don't worry, I'll explain that to you as we go along. All right, so we're going to begin with our slip knot. And we're going to chain 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll join this into a circle. And then we'll make that stay knot. Now, if you prefer to make the magic circle or another method to begin your circles for the bottom of our bag or basket, it is kind of a bag, you can. You do what works best for you, okay? Now I'm going to go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're going to stitch 9 double crochets in this circle. You'll also notice that I'm stitching over that tail of yarn, and that's so I can pull that closed so I don't have a hole in the bottom of my basket. I love these baskets. You can put yarn in them, of course. You can put makeup or bathroom items. You can put pantry items like sprinkles or cupcake papers. They're also really good for sorting toys like Legos or Barbie dolls. So they have lots of fun uses, and these fun bright colors even make it even funner to use. All right, I was chatting and didn't count, so let's count. Our chain 3 counts as our first, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, both the small and the medium start with 10 double crochets for row 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to join to our chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. And before I go on, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to the back side. I'm going to gently pull on that string, although I pulled on that pretty tight because this is pretty sturdy yarn, and we want to get that hole closed. Now, threading a needle with bulky yarn can be a little bit hard. What I do is I just put the needle, fold the yarn over it, make it as flat as I can, and then I can shove that flat portion through the eye of the needle. All right, I actually thread all my needles that way, whether the thread or yarn is thin or thick. Now, weaving in can be a little bit different because it's really difficult in some of these fuzzy yarns to go through the fiber of the yarn. And so I'll come up a few stitches, make sure it's secure, then I'll go back the way I came, going through the stitches but not going all the way through to the front. All right, so I'm going to pull that again, and then I'll do that again. And I usually try to do it 3 times. If I have more yarn, I'll do another one where I'll go back through. Okay, because we really want this to stay secure. And we'll clip that off. So we've done or finished round or row 1. We have 10 double crochets. We joined to our chain 3 and chained 3. And again, this is both for the small and the medium size. Now the next 2 rows, row 2 and 3, will be exactly the same for the small and medium size basket. So we chained 3, we're going to stitch a double crochet in the same stitch as our chain 3, and then we're going to stitch 2 double crochets in each of those double crochets around. And this is going to give us a nice flat bottom to our basket. I know I keep saying bag. It is not a bag, but it can be a bag. I mean, it would make a nice market bag to take and shop for vegetables or things like that. So because it has handles on both sides, so it could be a market bag if you want it to be. But when I designed these Spunky Chunky Baskets, I was thinking more of crochet, yarn supplies, you know, and items like storing buttons and ribbons and things like that. All right, so I'm just going to stitch 2 double crochets in each of these double crochets around. We stitched 1 double crochet in the same stitch as our chain 3 and then 2 in each around, so we have 20 double crochets. We're going to join to that chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. And you can see using this large super bulky yarn, it's going to move really fast. And this is why I really love working with bulky yarns, because it does move along fast. I know it can be a little bit clumsy at first working with a large crochet hook and chunky yarn, but it is so worth it. All right, so we're going to just repeat on row 3 what we did on row 2. We're going to stitch a double crochet in the same stitch as our chain 3, and then we're going to stitch 2 double crochets in each of those double crochets around. And so row 1 had 10, row 2 had 20 double crochets, and row 3 will have 40 double crochets. So 2 double crochets in each of the double crochets around. And remember, whether you're making the small or the medium, the first 3 rows are stitched the same. I have completed row 3. Row 3 we have 40 double crochets. I joined to my chain 3 and chained 3. Now, this is how it will look for both the small and the medium at row 3. Now, we're going to start doing the sides for the small. All right, but on the medium, we're going to do another row. And on that row, you can see there's 2 together here, not 2 together like decrease, but 2 stitched in the same stitch, and then 1, 2, 3 stitched, and then 2. So you're doing 3 and 2. I'm going to show you how to do that on this one, and then I'm going to take it out. So what you'll do is you've chained 3, then you'll stitch 1 double crochet in the next 2, 1 and 2, and that will give you 3 double crochets because our chain 3 counts as our first. Then you'll place 2 double crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2. Then you'll stitch 1 double crochet in the next 3, 1, 2, 3. Then you'll stitch 2 double crochets in the next stitch. And so what you're doing is you're repeating 1 double crochet in the next 3, 2 double crochets in the next, and repeat that all the way around. Now remember, this is only if you're making the medium size. For the small size, we don't stitch that. We're going to begin working on the sides. So once you've stitched that row on the medium size, you're going to join to your chain 3 and chain 3. And then the next row is the same on here as it is on the small. The only difference is you're going to have more stitches on the medium size. So what you're going to do, if you're making the medium, you're going to be working row 5. If you're making the small, we're skipping row 4 and going straight to row 5. And all you're going to do is you're going to be working in the back loops only and stitch 1 double crochet in each of our stitches around. And so when you look at the top of your rows, you see there's a loop here and a loop here. These on the front are your front loops, and we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in each of the back loops, working all the way around. All right, and so for the small size, you're going to have 40 double crochets, and for the medium size, you're going to have 50 double crochets. So we're stitching 1 double crochet in each of the double crochets around, working in the back loop only. And you'll know that you're doing it correctly if you see this row right here where you have those loops. And you'll see that on this one also where we have those loops that we didn't work in all the way around. All right, so 1 double crochet in each of the double crochets around, working in the back loops only. I have completed row 5, and remember on the small basket we skipped row 4, so we have 40 double crochets stitched in the back loop only. And on the medium size bag we have 50 double crochets stitched in the back loops only. All right, now this next row is stitched similar. The only difference is, of course, the medium's going to have more stitches. All right, so our chain 3 counts as 1. All right, and so we're going to double crochet in the next 3 double crochet stitches. One, 2, and 3. So that gives us 4 double crochets. Now we're going to go around the post of the next stitch. Instead of stitching up here, we're going to do a front post double crochet. Now we'll go and stitch 1 double crochet in the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's our 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to go around the post of the next stitch and stitch a front post double crochet. And see how that looks? All right, this one's done the same. 4 and 1, because this one's 30 and this one's 40 stitches, we're going to have more stitches on this one and less on this one, okay? But it's done the same. 1 double crochet in the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then front post double crochet around the next double crochet front post. And you can see on this one how those front posts look. Okay, and we'll just repeat this. 1 double crochet in the next 4, front post double crochet in the next, working all the way around. And again, it's the same for the small and the medium. The medium just has more stitches. I should say more repeats. So I have completed that row. 1 double crochet in the next 4, front post in the next. You're going to end on a front post both sizes. You'll join to the chain 3 and chain 3. And now what you're going to do is for the small size, you're going to repeat this 2 more times. For the medium size, you're going to repeat it 3 more times. So you'll end up with 4 rows with the front post stitches on the medium size, and you'll end up with 3 rows on the small size. All right, so for the small size, repeat row 6 2 more times. For the medium size bag, you're going to repeat row 6 3 more times. I completed those 2 more rows on my small size, and you can see here on the large size we have 1 2 3 4. Here's the one we did, and then we repeated it 3 times. Now, after you do that, you join to your chain 3 and you only chain 1, because now we're going to be stitching single crochets, and it's the same on the medium as it is the small. Of course, you're going to have more stitches on the medium. And so what you're going to do at this point is you're going to stitch 1 single crochet in each of those single crochets all the way around. And we're going to do this for 2 rows. And then on the medium size, we're going to do this for 3 rows. And then we'll add our handle. Now, I do want to point out at this point, before you begin the single crochet rows, if you want the side of your basket to be taller, whether you're making the small or the medium, you can add more rows of your double crochet with the front post row. You can add more rows if you want it to be a little bit taller. Same like I said with the medium. You can add more rows if you want your medium bag to be taller. And once you've done the amount of repeat rows that you wanted to add to make your basket taller, you're going to join to the chain 3 and chain 1. And on the small basket, we're doing 2 rows of single crochet. And on the medium basket, we're doing 3 rows of single crochet. I have completed those 2 rows of single crochet. I joined to the first single crochet and chained 1. And of course, on the medium, we have 3 rows of single crochet. Now we're going to do the handles. And of course, the medium size is going to have more stitches, so that there's going to be a difference on this row. All right, so for the medium size, you're going to stitch 1 single crochet in the first 9 stitches. In the small, you're going to stitch 1 single crochet in the first 7 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 single crochets for the small, 9 for the medium. All right, now we're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So on the small, I chained 10. On the medium, I chained 12. So now what you're going to do is you're going to skip the next 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then single crochet in the next. And that's going to form the handle. Now on the medium, you're going to skip 7 single crochets. All right, so we stitched 1, and on the small size, we're going to stitch 13 more so that we have a total of 14. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. So we had 7 over here. And then we skipped those 6, and now we have 14. On the medium size, we stitched 9, we skipped 7, and then we single crocheted 18 stitches because 9 and 9 is 18. 7 and 7 is 14. And now we're going to repeat what we just did. So we're going to chain 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again, you'll chain 12 for the medium. You'll skip 6 on the small. You'll skip 7 on the medium. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's going to leave 7 stitches on this side, and it'll leave 9 stitches on the medium. All right? All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll stitch 1 single crochet in those last 7 stitches. Five, 6, and 7. I'll join to my first single crochet with a slip stitch and chain 1. All right, and so here are the handles on the small. So now what we're going to do for both the medium and the small is we're basically just going to single crochet in each of our single crochets, single crochet in each of our stitches of our handle all the way around. All right, so we'll single crochet 1, 2, 3, all right, there's 6 and 7. Now, there are 2 ways you can do these handles. I do want to clarify this a little bit. You can stitch in the actual stitches, or you can stitch around it, all right? I am going to stitch around the chain because I like the way that it looks better. So I chained 10, so I'm just going to place 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and so I think it looks nice, but you can stitch right in those chains if you want to. Now on the medium, you're going to have 12 single crochets in both of your handles because you have 12 stitches, all right? And then we'll just go right to that first single crochet and single crochet around, and then repeat the same thing on the other handle. So I have single crocheted around and placed 10 single crochets over both my handles, and I have some really nice sturdy handles. Okay, now, and on this one, it's the medium, we have 12 chains, so we did 12 single crochets. Now we have to do one more row to add our fancy trim on there, and it's super duper easy, and then our little baskets will be ready to be used, although they're not that small, obviously. All right, so for the last row, we're going to chain 1. We're going to slip stitch in that first stitch and chain 1. Then we'll go to the next stitch and slip stitch and chain 1. And we'll do this on each stitch around, whether it's the small or the medium. So slip stitch, chain 1 in each of the single crochets around, whether it's the handle or the edge of the basket. It looks super pretty, and it also kind of gives it just a little bit of fun and flair, I think, than just a basic handle. I think you can see how that looks on here, and of course it looks really pretty on here also. All right, so slip stitch, chain 1 in each of the single crochets working all the way around the basket and the handles. I worked my way all the way around, stitching slip stitch and chain 1. Now I'm just going to join back to that first one. Cut my yarn. And I'm going to go in that next stitch. There we go. And pull that loop to the inside. Give it a nice good tug. And then I'm going to weave this in. And again, weaving in some of these thicker yarns can be a little bit challenging. But just go back and forth. And if your yarn's too short, remember, you can always put your needle through and then grab the end and pull it through. Which I cut that one way too short. Don't do that. Don't do what I just did. Okay. I usually give myself a nice long tail. I don't know why I did that time. All right, so here is our small Spunky Chunky basket. And here is the large Spunky Chunky basket. I love them. They're super fun. And I love this little front post stitch. It adds a little extra to the bags or the baskets. They can be used as bags. I mean, think about the things these could be used for. Market bags and shopping bags. They're also perfect for putting items in the pantry, in the bathroom, in the baby's room with these colors. But also great for little ones to be able to pick up toys, Legos, crayons, markers. And don't forget, they're the perfect yarn bags. So I hope you'll have fun with these because I know I did.